Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Buddhist and Mata is the Pranam. Parallel Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Please read this one from Sri Namamrita. Anybody?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I will.
Yeah, please read.
Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to King Prataparudra. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya replied, "This sweet transcendental sound is a special creation of the Lord, known as Prema Sankirtana, congregational chanting of the love of God. In this age of Kali, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has descended to preach the religion of Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord Krishna is the religious principles for this age. Anyone who worships the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by congregational chanting should be understood by very intelligent. One who does not do so must be considered a victim of this age and bereft of all intelligence. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, yes, thank you for reading. This is the translation of Srila Prabhupada in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishna consciousness process is, it's easy if you feel, again, mind, if we train our mind properly, it becomes easy process. In the initial days, it's not, it's not like we are going to get the nectar immediately, no. So stick to the process, right? A special creation of Lord Sankirtana, Prema Sankirtana. It's called Prema Sankirtana, love of God, through the chanting, the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So, nectar of holy names, right? What is that nectar? Nectar, when will we get the nectar? That sweet, the sweet transcendental sound vibration. We won't get experience right away, the sweetness of the holy names by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. But in due course of time, Prabhupada also writes, in due course of time, we can experience the taste while performing this activity, chanting the holy names of the Lord. And whoever takes up this process are intelligent, right? How many people are chanting in the entire world? It's very less number, very minute. 9 billion people, close to 9 billion people in this world. So how many are sincerely chanting in the morning, takes up the bead bag and touch the beads, chant the holy names. And if you see in ISKCON also, most of the people, intelligent persons, they're all Krishna endowed with that intelligence to take up this process, and this is the perfect process. They understood. They have gone through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Yeah, this is the correct method. And in ISKCON also, we quoted the reference points where only the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, only chanting the holy names of the Lord is the best means to purify ourselves, right? So it's an educational, cultural institution, ISKCON, and of course, it elevates us to go back to our intelligent. So Prabhupada writes, we are all intelligent. Whoever takes up the Krishna consciousness process, right? We are using our intelligence in right path, not spending in material indulgence, right? We take up some time and spending sitting. See, japa means we are with Krishna, right? You are attended a couple of weeks back, Yoga Kishore Prabhu session. We are with Krishna. Krishna is possessed in the form of holy name. No difference. Abhinnatva Namanamina. Right. Thank you for chanting. Please join. Only Raju Prabhu, myself, and sometimes my wife is joining. I request, please join regularly in this japa call also to get mutual inspiration. So please join that also. Morning 7:30 call. At least 1 or 2 rounds. At least join at 7:45. No problem. Please join. Okay. Thank you so much. Let us begin with Mangalacharana prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश धारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Yesterday actually we have completed reading of 5th chapter of Adilila, the glories of Lord Nityananda Balarama, including purports and translations. We are reading just translations today. We'll complete today. We are at 70th verse. Let me read 5 and I'll give over to you. Text 71. The Brahmas and other lords of the mundane worlds appear from the pores of Mahavishnu and remain alive for the duration of his one exhalation. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom Mahavishnu is a portion of a plenary portion. Where am I? A small creature of 7 spans, the measure of my own hand. I am enclosed in the universe composed of material nature. The total material energy, false ego, ether, air, water, and earth. What is your glory? Unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body, just like particles of dust passing through the opening of a window. Assume that, think that unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body. Whose body? Mahavishnu's body. Unlimited. There is no limit. Just like dust particles. A part of whole is called Kala. Sri Balarama is a counter form of Lord Govinda. Balarama's own expansion is called Mahasankarshana, and his fragment, the Purusha, is counted as a Kala, or a part of a plenary portion. I say that this Kala is Mahavishnu. He is the Mahapurusha, who is the source of other Purushas and who is all pervading. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Matayesh, please read the Matayesh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
Garbhodakshai and Kshirodakshai are both called Purushas. They are plenary portions of Karanodakshai Vishnu, the first Purusha, who is the abode of all the universe. Vishnu has 3 forms called Purushas. The first, Mahavishnu, is the creator of the total material energy, Mahat. The second is Garbhodakshai, who is situated within each universe. And the third is Kshirodakshai, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these 3 becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya. Although Karanodakshai Vishnu is called a Kala of Lord Krishna, or a Kala of Lord Krishna, he is the source of Matsya, Kurma, and the other incarnations. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In every age, he protects the world through his different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. The Purusha Karanodakshai Vishnu is the performer of creation, maintenance, and destruction. He manifests himself in many incarnations, for he is the maintainer of the world. That fragment of the Supreme Lord, known as the Mahapurusha, appears for the purpose of creation, maintenance, and annihilation, and is called an incarnation. The Mahapurusha is identical with the personality of Godhead. He is the original incarnation, the seed of all others, and the shelter of everything. The Purusha Mahavishnu is the primary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Time, nature, Prakriti as cause and effect, the mind, the material elements, false ego, the modes of nature, the senses, the universal form, complete independence, and the moving and non-moving beings appear subsequently as his opulences. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord expanded himself in the form of Purusha incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material creation. First, he created the 16 principal energies suitable for creation. This was for the purpose of manifesting the material universes. Although the Lord is the shelter of everything, And although all the universes rest in him, he as a super soul is also the support of everything. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah, Sangeeta Mataji, Sangeeta, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Although he is thus connected with the material energy in two ways, he does not have the slightest contact with it. This is the opulence of the Lord. Although situated within the material nature, he is never affected by the modes of nature. Similarly, those who have surrendered to him and have fixed their intelligence upon him are not influenced by the modes of nature. Thus, the Bhagavad Gita also states again and again that the absolute truth always possesses inconceivable power. Lord Krishna said, I am situated in the material world and the material world rests in me. But at the same time, I am not situated in the material world, nor does it rest in me in truth. O Arjuna, you should know this as my inconceivable opulence. This is the meaning propagated by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. That Mahapurusha, Karanodaka Sai Vishnu, is known as a plenary part of him, who is Lord Nityananda Balarama, the favorite associate of Lord Chaitanya. I have thus explained the 9th verse, and now I shall explain the 10th. Please listen with rapt attention. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, a partial part of whom is Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu sprouts the lotus, that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of planets. After creating millions of universes, the first Purusha entered into each of them in a separate form, as Sri Garbhodaka Sai. Entering the universe, he found only darkness with no place in which to reside. Thus, he began to consider. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Sandhya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Text 96. Then he created water from the perspiration of his own body, and with that water filled half the universe. The universe measures 500 million yojanas. Its length and breadth are one and the same. After filling half the universe with water, he made his own residence therein and manifested the 14 words in the other half. There he manifested Vaikuntha as his own abode and rested in the waters and the bed of Lord Shesha. He lay there with Ananta as his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent having thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes, and thousands of hands and feet. He is the seed of all incarnation and is the cause of the material world. From his navel grew a lotus flower, which became the birthplace of Lord Brahma. Within the stem of the lotus were the 14 worlds. Thus the Supreme Lord as Brahma created the entire creation. And as Lord Vishnu, he maintains the entire world. Lord Vishnu, being beyond all material attributes, has no touch with the material qualities. Assuming the form of Rudra, he destroys the creation. Thus creation, maintenance, and dissolution are created by his will. Hare Krishna.
Loish Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dharmatmana. He is the super soul, Hiranyagarbha, the cause of the material world. The universal form is conceived as his expansion. That Lord Narayana is a part of the plenary part of the Lord Nityananda Balarama, who is the source of all incarnations. I have thus explained the 10th verse. Now please listen to the meaning of the 11th verse with all your mind. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityananda Rama, whose secondary part is the Vishnu lying in the ocean of milk. That Kshirodakshai Vishnu is the super soul of all living entities and the maintainer of all the universe. Sheshnaga is his further subpart. The material planets rest within the stems that grew from the lotus navel of Lord Nityananda. Among these planets are seven oceans. There in part of the ocean of milk lies Shvetadipa, the abode of the sustainer, Lord Vishnu. He is the super soul of all living entities. He maintains this material world and he is its Lord. In the ages and millenniums of Manu, he appears as different incarnations to establish the principles of real religion and vanquish the principles of irreligion. Unable to see him, the demigods go to the shores of the ocean of milk and offer prayers to him. He then descends to maintain the material world. His unlimited opulences cannot be counted. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Akinchan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
No, no problem. Yeah.
The Lord Vishnu is but a part and parcel of plenary portion of the Lord Nityananda, who is the source of all incarnation. The same Lord Vishnu is in the form of Lord Sesha, holds the planets upon his heads, although he does not know where they are, for cannot feel the existence upon his beads, his heads. His thousands of extended hoods are adorned with dazzling jewels, surpassing the sun. This universe, which measures 500 million yojanas in diameter, rests on one of his hoods like a mustard seed. The Anantasesha is the devotee's incarnation. Sorry, one second, Prabhu. I'll wear glass. Sorry. Yeah, that Anantasesha is the devotee incarnation of Godhead. He knows nothing but service of Lord Krishna. With his thousands of mouths, he sings the glories of Lord Krishna. But although he always sings in that way, he does not find end to the qualities of the Lord. The four Kumaras hear Srimad Bhagavatam from his lips, and they in turn repeat it in the transcendental bliss of love of Godhead. He serves Lord Krishna assuming all the following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. He is thus called Lord Sesha, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. That person of whom Lord Ananta is a Kala, or a part of plenary part, is Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who therefore can know the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. From these
Hare Krishna.
calculations, sorry, Prabhu.
Yeah. So
I have to stop?
10 verses we are reading. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. So actually, just want to add, just remembering, following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. So it's called serving Lord in Shantarasa. Shantarasa. Right? Shantarasa. Raju Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, 126.
From these conclusions, we can know the limit of the truth of the Lord Nityananda. But what glory is there in calling him Ananta? But I accept it as the truth because it has been said by devotees. Since he is the source of all incarnations, everything is possible in him. They know that there is no difference between the incarnation and the source of all incarnations. Previously, Lord Krishna was regarded in the light of different principles by different people. Some said that Krishna was directly Lord Naranarayana, and some called him Lord Vamanadeva incarnate. Some call Lord Krishna an incarnation of Lord Kshirodaksai. All these names are true. Nothing is impossible. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna appears, he is the center of all plenary parts. Thus, at the time of all his plenary portions join in him. In whatever form one knows the Lord, one speaks of him in that way. In this, there is no falsity, since everything is possible in Krishna. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited to everyone all the pastimes of all the various incarnations. Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnation. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself as a servant of Lord Chaitanya. Sometimes he serves the Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant, just as Lord Balrama played with Lord Krishna in these three different moods in Praja. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. 136, text 136. Playing like a bull, Lord Balarama fights with Krishna head to head, and sometimes Lord Krishna massages the feet of Lord Balarama. He considered himself a servant and knows Krishna to be his master. Thus, he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Acting just like ordinary boys, they played like roaring bulls as they fought each other, and they imitated the calls of various animals. Sometimes, when Lord Krishna's elder brother, Lord Balarama, felt tired after playing and lay his head on the lap of a cowherd boy, Lord Krishna himself served him by massaging his feet. Who is, who is this mystic power? And where has she come from? Is she a demigod or a demoness? She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna. For who else can bewilder me? Bewilder me. What is the value of a throne to Lord Krishna? The masters of the various planetary systems accept the dust of his lotus feet on their crowned heads. The dust makes the holy places sacred. And even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and I myself, who are all portions of his plenary portion, eternally carry the dust on our heads. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller, and all other are his servants. They dance as he makes them to do so. Thus, Lord Chaitanya is also the only controller. All others are his associates or servants. His elders, such as Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, and Srivasa Thakura, as well as his other devotees, whether his juniors, equals, or superiors, are all his associates who help him in his pastimes. Lord Gauranga fulfills his aims with their help. Haribol. Simple. Krishna is the only controller here. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the only controller, and all of our associates helping him in various pastimes, just like Lord Balarama helping him in expansion of Krishna. Yeah. Continue, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sri Advaita Acharya and Srila Nityananda Prabhu, who are plenary parts of the Lord, are his principal associates. With these two, the Lord performs his pastimes in various ways. Lord Advaita Acharya is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although Lord Chaitanya accepts him as his preceptor. Advaita Acharya is a servant of the Lord. I cannot describe the truth of Advaita Acharya. He has delivered the entire world by making Lord Krishna descend. Lord Nityananda Swarupa formerly appeared as Lakshmana and served Lord Ramachandra as his younger brother. The activities of Lord Rama were full of suffering, but Lakshmana, of his own accord, tolerated that suffering. As a younger brother, he could not stop Lord Rama from his resolution, and so he remained silent, although unhappy in his mind. When Lord Krishna appeared, he, Balarama, became his elder brother to serve him to his heart's content and make him enjoy all sorts of happiness. Sri Rama and Sri Lakshmana, who are plenary portions of Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama respectively, entered into them at the time of Krishna's and Balarama's appearance. Krishna and Balarama present themselves as younger brother and elder brother, but in the scriptures they are described as the original Supreme Personality of Godhead and his expansion. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who by various plenary portions appears in the world in different forms and incarnations such as Lord Rama, but who personally appears in his supreme original form as Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Samyukta Mataji.
Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Krishna and Lord Nityananda is Lord Balarama. Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. The ocean of Lord Nityananda's glories is infinite and unfathomable. Only by his mercy can I touch even a drop of it. Please listen to another glory of his mercy. He made a fallen living entity climb to the highest limit. To disclose it is not proper, for it should be kept as confidential as the Vedas. Yet I shall speak of it to make his mercy known to all. O Lord Nityananda, I wrote of your mercy out of great exaltation. Please forgive for my offenses. Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Sri Meenaketana Ramadasa, who was a reservoir of love. At my house there was Sankirtan day and night, and therefore he visited there, having been invited. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. In a joyful mood of love, of God, he sometimes climbed upon the shoulder of someone offering obeisances, and sometimes he struck others with his flute or mildly slapped them. When someone saw the eyes of Meenaketana Ramadasa, tears would automatically flow from his own eyes, for a constant shower of tears flowed from the eyes of Meenaketana Ramadasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sandhya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Text 166. Sometimes there were eruptions of ecstasy like kadamba flowers on some parts of his body, and sometimes on limb would be stunned while another would be trembling. Whenever he shouted aloud the name Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. One respectable Brahmana named Sri Gunarnava Mishra was serving the deity. When Meenaketana was seated in the yard, this Brahmana did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Sri Ramadasa became angry and spoke. Here I find the second Romaharshana Sutta, who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balarama. After saying this, he danced and sang to his heart's content, but the Brahmana did not become angry, for he was then serving Lord Krishna. At the end of the festival, Meenaketana Ramadasa went away, offering his blessings to everyone. At that time, we had some controversy with my brother. My brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. Knowing this, Sri Ramadasa felt unhappy in his mind. I then rebuked my brother. These two brothers, I told him, are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you don't believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Lavish Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like logic of accepting half your hand. It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers than a hypocrite by believing in one and slighting the other. Thus Sri Ramadasa broke his flute in anger and went away, and at that time my brother fell down. I have thus described the power of servants of Lord Nityananda. Now I shall describe other characteristics of his mercy. That night, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream because of my good quality in chastising my brother. In the village of Jhamatpura, which is near Naihati, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in a dream. Arise, get up, he told me again and again.
This one. 182.
Well, offering my obeisances, and he then placed his own lotus feet upon my head. Arise, get up, he told me again and again. Upon rising, I was greatly astonished to see his beauty. He has a glossy blackish complexion, and his tall, strong, heroic stature made him seem like Cupid himself. He had beautifully formed hands, arms, and legs, and eyes like lotus flowers. He wore a silk cloth with a silk turban on his leg.
Thank you. Thank you. Hakim Chandra.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. He had beautifully formed, he wore golden earrings on his ears, golden armlets and bangles. He wore tinkling anklets on his feet, and a garland of flowers around his leg. His body was adorned with sandal pulp, and he is slightly decorated with tilaka. His movements surpassed those of the maddened elephant. His face was more beautiful than millions upon millions of wolves, and his teeth were like pomegranate seeds because of sheaving metal. His body moved to and fro, right and left. He was absorbed in ecstasy. He chanted Krishna Krishna in the deep voice. His red stick moving in his hand. He seated like maddened lion. All round the four sides of his feet were bubble bees. His devotees dressed like covered boys surrounded his feet like so many bees and also chanted Krishna around Sri Krishna absorbed in ecstatic love. Some of them played halls and flutes, and other danced and sang. Some of them offered betel nuts, and other waved chamara fans about him. Thus, I saw such opulence in Lord Nityananda Swarupa. His wonderful form, qualities, and pastimes all are transcendental. I was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke to me as follows. Oh, my dear Krishnadasa, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan, for there you will attain all things.
Hari, Hari. Raj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. After saying this, he directed me toward Vrindavana by waving his hand. Then he disappeared with his associates. I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke. When I regained consciousness, I saw that morning had come. I thought about what I had seen and heard and concluded that the Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavana at once. That very second I started for Vrindavana, and by his mercy I reached there in great happiness. All glory to Lord Nityananda Balarama, by whose mercy I have attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavana. All glory to the merciful to Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana. By his mercy, I have attained the shelter of a great personality, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, and by his mercy, I have found the refuge of Sri Swarupa Damodara. By the mercy of Sanatana Goswami, I have learned the final conclusion of devotional service, and by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. All glory to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained the Sri Radha Govinda. I am more sinful than the Jagai and Madai, and even lower than the worms in the stool. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Let us complete it. It's 30 only, 33 only. Let us complete 206 to 235. Another 5 minutes. Huh? Hare Krishna. Author is Prabhuji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Let us complete. Anyone who hears my name loses the results of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is in an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between the good and the bad. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person as me. Although I am sinful and I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami. I am not fit to speak all these confidential words, but about my visiting Lord Madana Gopala and Lord Govinda. Lord Madana Gopala, the chief deity of Vrindavana, is the enjoyer of the Rasa dance and is directly the son of the king of Vraja. He enjoys the Rasa dance with Srimad Radharani, Sri Lalita and others. He manifests himself as a cupid of cupids. Wearing yellow garments and decorated with a flower garland, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looked directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. With Radha and Lalita serving him on his two sides, he attracts the hearts of all by his own sweetness. Yeah. Mother.
The mercy of Lord Nityananda showed me Sri Madan Mohana and gave me Sri Madan Mohana as my Lord and Master. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. On an altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavana, amidst a forest of desire trees, Lord Govinda, the son of the king of Vraja, sits upon a throne of gems and manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world. By his left side is Srimati Radharani and her personal friends. With them, Lord Govinda enjoys the Ras Leela and many other pastimes. Lord Brahma, sitting in his lotus seat, in his own abode, always meditates on him and worships him with the mantra consisting of 18 syllables. Everyone in the 14 worlds meditate upon him, and all the denizens of Vaikuntha sing of his qualities and pastimes. The goddess of fortune is attracted by his sweetness, which Srila Rupa Goswami has described in this way. My dear friend, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshi Ghata. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute to his lips, which seem like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in 3 places, appears very bright in the moonlight. Without a doubt, he is directly the son of the king of Vraja. Only a fool considers him a statue. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Samyukta Mataji, please.
For that offense, he cannot be liberated. Rather, he will fall into a terrible hellish condition. What more should I say? Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of him, Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda? All the groups of Vaishnavas who live in Vrindavana are absorbed in chanting the all auspicious name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are the life and soul of those Vaishnavas who do not know anything but devotional service to Sri Sri Radha Krishna. The dust and shade of the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda said, in Vrindavana, all things are possible. Here I have explained his brief statement in detail. I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavana, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. I have described my own story without reservations. The attributes of Lord Nityananda, making me like a madman, force me to write these things. The glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Shesha with his thousands of mouths cannot find their limit. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy, I Krishnadasa narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in their footsteps. Hare Krishna.
Done. 235 verses translations. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Prabhuji Mataji. So, Raju Prabhu, Raju Prabhu, Punjabi Pampisara Prabhu, PDF.
Sure, Prabhuji. I'll share.
Regular service, thank you. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhu Vacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada transcendental book reading ki jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Don't feel that it is not understanding. It's okay. As one time Dipamata said, we are with Nityananda Prabhu. Simple. Hari Bol. And all. Hare Krishna. See you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Have a happy Krishna conscious day. Krishna conscious. Have a happy Krishna conscious
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, every day is a day of Krishna. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.